to go. And they're now in the double penalty. But just one free throw here for Lewis.
Let's see what Coach Rose decides to do. Up 12, just inside of 3 minutes left. Roper with 4 fouls. No one at the scorer's table, so we'll leave him in for now. However, one obviously staying for now. I would think about taking him out just so you have him in case you get into some trouble.
Lewis cuts the lead to 11 on that free throw. Cross-court pass to Hakeem Williams as they break the press. Now with the 2:35 to go in the game. Left side to Roper. Roper looks to feed the post. Now puts the ball on the deck. Cross-court to Nigo. They spread the floor with 13 of the shot clock. Now a reach in. Boy, that came late. And the shot clock for the Kingsmen as Lewis picks it up. And that is it for him as Devin Lewis, their leading scorer tonight with the 16 points, will exit with the 2:25 to go. So that's especially after they got the shot clock down to almost 10. And we've got some time to make a substitution here as Reamer comes back in.
And they would have had a chance to shrink this to single digits on the other side, which looks a lot better on the score sheet than double digits.
So Jackson Ego has a pair of free throws. He has 12 points on the night, 3 boards, 3 assists, and long on the free throw.
Today,
not very good and surprising for a team that has 87 points on the board. And he missed them both.
Well, I'm waiting for the stats to compute, but their free throw percentage might be their lowest shooting percentage.
Baseline dribble drive, and he'll have to pull up. Gets the ball to the elbow inside for Camp, threading it inside. Or Davis with a nice touch pass over to Reamer for 2. And they do indeed get the lead down to 9 as Reamer gets the bucket. 87-78. Williams was fouled on the drive by Verkamp. Well, they're in the double bonus. Both teams are with the 2:05 to go. So 2 free throws for the rest of the way for both these teams. And Hakeem Williams with an opportunity to set and break his career single-game scoring mark in this trip. And he falls short. He'll have to settle for matching his career best of 17 if he can make this one and get it back to a 3-4 possession game as Nathan Bull checks out. Williams with the second one, and that rattles out and back in after they had missed 3 straight at the line. So Williams with 17, and it's 88-78, 2:05 to go.
And that's what Kalamazoo's going to play. They're going to try and get one more point every time to try and whittle this game down, and they have a golden chance here considering the split pair.
Griffiths up top. Now with the 2 minutes. Hands it off to Davis. Shuffles baseline. Goes back out on the wing to Martin. Sliding inside, falling off balance shot to the baseline. Missed it. Marco Anderson rips away the rebound. And the Titans team launches it deep for Funk. Can he run it down? No, he can't. As they gambled on the length of the floor pass amid the triple team. And Fredman comes out of the game, and you might see has been a very heady player here tonight, and looking forward to what he'll deliver here for the next several years. 3 balls short of the wing by Lewis. Out of bounds. It's still Kingsman ball with a minute. And Cal Lutheran calls timeout. We'll take a quick break here with a minute 26 to go. And the Titans on top by 10 at the Jack Sikma Invitational on 88.1 FM, WVSN, and IWSports.com.
OSF has been named one of the top hospital systems in the country for heart care. This prestigious award by the American College of Cardiology comes from our commitment to providing the highest quality of care. From general cardiology to nationally recognized heart care right here. OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute.
1:26 remaining here at Shirk Center in the season opener. Has a 10-point lead, 88-78, in a game that's gotten a little choppy here in the last few minutes as the Titans try to put the game on ice after leading by as many as 20 midway through the second half.
And I'm sure we're going to talk about this in a little about making free throws down the stretch, or they at least know how to learn from it. And the Titans got to be sure they do that. That's all they have to do to put this game on ice. However, from the line, they're at 57%, 12 of 21. For a point of reference, they're shooting 57.6% from the floor. 3. So as it stands right now, their worst percentage is coming from arguably the easiest shot to make. And right now, Cal Lutheran with a chance to make this a 7-point game with a 3-ball, and man, you're looking at a much different picture if this goes well for the Kingsmen.
Stephen Davis to trigger on the left baseline as he looks to catch the jump hook, and he got the whistle. The foul against Marco Anderson with 1:24 on the clock. And again, every time that clock stops, that just breathes new life into this Cal Lutheran comeback. 2 free throws here for Griffiths. He has 10 points. And back rim the first. Well, this Cal Lutheran team didn't come all the way from Southern Cal to just lay down here in the second half. They have fought hard to come back into it and making this a contest. The second 88-79, back to a 3-possession game. As Mason Funk to inbound with Hakeem Williams, Jackson Nego, Nick Roper, and Marco Anderson on the floor. Funk in play to Hakeem Williams. To Roper, 3-on-2. Roper will pull up and wisely bringing the ball back out. They'll force a foul, and they get it here on Stephen Davis with 1:14 to go. Davis with 3, and now a pair of free throws coming here for Mason Funk, and we'll see if they can break their 57% stalemate that they have in all of their shooting percentages in this game. For his part, Funk is 3 for 5, and the first one is good. 2 from the line before he sank that one. The sophomore from University High School, he is good for 2, and he becomes the 6th Titan in double figures as they lead 90-79. Now with 1:14 left. Martin has the full court to go for Cal Lutheran. In play to Davis. Right in front to Reamer. All the way to the bucket. Looked like he tried to reverse scoop it and got stuffed by Hakeem Williams, but he picked up the personal. And a lot of stoppages here late in the game that the Titans really want to avoid. I've had a lot of fouls down the stretch here to just prolong this game. And things have been had here down the stretch.
And one thing that can happen to increase their hope is getting Titans in foul trouble. However, that's just the first on Williams. It's just Anderson and Roper with 4, Bolt with 3. Everybody else 2 or less.
Reamer has 7 points as he made the first and the second. Cal Lutherans had their leading scorer, Devin Lewis, foul out. So it's back to a 3-possession game at 90-81. Funk inbounds to Nego. They trap him in midcourt. Flips the ball back to Funk. Funk across the 10-second line. Now down to a minute. Half-court trap. Shot clock at 20. Still trapping. Diagonal pass to Hakeem Williams. Baseline to Anderson. Anderson double team. Pulls up. Shot no. Tipped out of bounds. Well, they shot it with about 15 of the shot clock, but he had a good look.
It's not a bad play from Anderson, but at the end of the day, the clock is your friend, so I would have waited until there's 5 seconds on the timer. But you never know if you're getting a better look.
The inbound comes to Hakeem Williams. Dribbles it back out near midcourt after the shot clock reset. Triple team on Hakeem. Flips it over to Anderson with a quick pass back out to Mason Funk, who got fouled with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Wow, that's going to be his 4th foul. But Illinois Wesleyan had the ball for almost 40 seconds on that possession, and then comes the foul.
And you consider that a massive win if you're Ron Rose. Again, the clock is your friend, and Marco Anderson rattling it off the rim, getting a fresh 20. And then Cal Lou waiting until the end, a foul. They got to work faster.
So Funk misses the first of 2. He's 3 for 5 at the stripe with 10 points on the night. And 39.2 ticks on the clock. Again, the Titans are up by 9, going for 10, and he hits. So it's 91-81. Trey Bazell is in for Marco Anderson. Going for a perimeter-oriented defense to prevent the 3. Davis gives it off. There's a tough 3, top of the circle, missed by Athanasioou, and it's picked up underneath. Bazell got knocked to the floor.
Great job by Trey Bazell. When you have Anderson and Williamson both on the bench, someone else has to get in and crash the glass, and you're without your 2 main post guys. And Bazell doing a great job splitting the pair, going up with 2 hands, getting the board, getting knocked to the floor, and then ultimately, yes, he will head to the line.
And Trey Bazell with a quiet but very efficient night. 12 points in 14 minutes. 4 for 5 from the floor, 1 for 2 at the line. Good on the first.
And 3 for 3 from deep.
As he pushes the lead up to 11. 30.6 seconds to go. And the officials are conferring in mid-court. They've not yet posted that free throw. Would make it 92-81. Don't know if there was a question about who was shooting the free throw, perhaps.
It's the scoreboard in the arena still says 91-81, so I'm not sure if it's a malfunction or what's going on. At this point, I think both coaches turn back the clock to the playground.
I'd like to see the scoreboard that can count higher than 91. Or perhaps they didn't count that free throw.
92. Or, yeah, perhaps.
So that was the issue, so the free throw didn't count for some reason. But doesn't bother Trey Bazell at all. He just calmly makes it again. And now he'll get a second or third try.
And that's a procedural issue. I should say procedural issue, but a disruption in proceedings on somebody there. It's not a violation or anything like that.
So Bazell makes both free throws. I guess he got a warm-up out of it. So it's a 12-point lead now with 30 seconds to go. Reamer across the 10-second line, nearly lost the ball. In fact, he did. It's out of bounds off of Reamer as Funk forced him to scramble for it, and he could not corral it. Now the Titans have it back in a good shape here with 24.6 seconds to go.
Shot clock's off. Let's see what Russell White decides to do. Does he decide to call off the Dogs, or does he foul one more time to try and see what he can do with now 20 seconds to play?
Yeah, looks like they're calling off the Dogs. They may trap here in the backcourt. There's Nigo. Flips the ball ahead. He throws it away. The steal there by Davis with a lob ahead. He nearly throws it away. Reamer keeps it alive, and then he throws it away. But it was tipped out of bounds. And it will still be Illinois Wesleyan on defense here with 10.5 seconds to go.
Some helter-skelter basketball, but at the end of the day, no matter how many hands that ball touches, the clock keeps running. Advantage Titans.
But it hasn't been doing a lot of that in the last 15 minutes, I'll say that. It feels like these last 5 minutes of the game have been an eternity. Inside of 5 seconds, Reamer with a spin, flips it off to Griffin. He kicked the ball out of bounds, and 0.4 of a second left for one final inbound for Cal Lutheran.
Try and make this look a little bit better than it is for the voters.
Davis in play. The three is blocked, and that will do it. An impressive victory in the season opener for Illinois Wesleyan, 93-81 over the Kingsmen from Cal Lutheran University in the first game of the Jack Sikma Hall of Fame Invitational. Our postgame comes up next. We'll hear from Coach Ron Rose and a player guest as well, and we'll get you set for the second game tonight another good one on tap, Wisconsin Platteville and Calvin. But first, our postgame comes up next. After this timeout, this is Illinois Wesleyan Titan basketball on 88.1 FM, WBSN.
OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute has been named one of the top hospital systems in the country for heart care. This prestigious award by the American College of Cardiology comes from our commitment to providing the highest quality of care. From general cardiology to complex surgeries and the latest technology. Nationally recognized heart care right here. OSF Healthcare Cardiovascular Institute.
And welcome back to Shirk Center here at Illinois Wesleyan University. Eric Stock along with Matt Sossler as Illinois Wesleyan wins it tonight 93-81 in the first game of the Jack Sikma Hall of Fame Invitational. Now, when the game started 7-0 about 4 minutes in, I don't know how many might have guessed that Illinois Wesleyan would have ended up with 93 points tonight, but one of the guys who helped jumpstart the offense was Carlo Kolak. Our post-game guest tonight finished with 13 points, a highly efficient 4 for 5 from the floor. Congratulations on the effort tonight. You guys got it rolling after the first couple of minutes, a little bit sluggish. What do you say?
Well, first of all, thank you. And yeah, it was a slow start for sure. But, we always talk about, don't be complacent and just stay cool. So when I came in and when we got the subs in, we're in there to help jumpstart the energy and start getting it going. So that's what we did tonight. I know they started up 7-0, but you saw how we responded, and that's all that matters.
Well, we saw that you responded, taking the ball to the basket very consistently. We didn't see that as much last year. If you could talk about your approach coming in to your junior season.
Yeah, well, this summer I worked a lot on my driving and especially my ball handling. Last year they kind of just labeled me as a shooter, the opposing teams. So this year I really wanted to focus on my driving because they're going to get up on me and then let me go by. And so it worked today. They were giving me open lanes, and our guys were setting me good screens, getting me open. Some of the plays that we ran just got the lanes open, and I just took it and scored.
I got a couple for you, Carlo. First, losing 2 key guards from last year to this year, and it seems that you're replacing them all in the aggregate. You, Mason, Jackson, Josh, who I'll get into in a little bit. What's been that process throughout the offseason and it coming to fruition today?
Yeah, good question. I think, definitely losing our 2 seniors last year, Stroka and Yoder, they were really good players. But I think, for example, me, Jackson, Mason, we played last year a little bit, so we got comfortable last year, and our focus this year was just to understand that we're going to get more minutes this year. And then Josh coming in, he's a great player, quick, really smart. So just, all of us together, just working together, communicating and being together with each other, because we know we're in this together and not only individually.
And you and Josh coming from the same area, not sure how many times you played in high school, if you played against each other in high school, being New Trier and Glenbrook North. CSL is always a fluid conference nowadays, but what were your thoughts on his collegiate debut?
Man, it was good. It was good. He's a great player. I played him, actually. He was a sophomore starting on varsity, and he was a threat as a sophomore. The CSL is a great conference, and, having Josh on our team, that's going to help us a lot. He's a great player, very quick, very smart, can shoot it, can take it, and really strong physically.
I'm wondering how instructive last year's game against Cal Lutheran was coming into this game. But as I recall, that game was in the 50s, and you put up 93, so it was a completely different game this year.
Yeah. Well, we had a chip on our shoulder. Last year we went to California, and they brought it to us. We didn't play well, and they executed. And so this year our focus was revenge. And our other focus was running the ball, really. So, like, taking it down, because we're fast and we're big, and just taking down fast breaks. So that's what we scored. What, you said 93?
93,
93, yeah. So 93 is crazy, but we got to keep them below 81 or whatever they scored for sure.
Yeah, that was indeed the score. Now, you come back again tomorrow against a team just as good, arguably better, kind of a tournament weekend a feel to this. So how do you turn back around in less than 24 hours?
I mean, I think we're going to go watch film, and we're going to watch this game, and just whoever we play, we just stick to what we do best, because if we stick to our plays and what we do best, we're going to win any game. That's what I believe. So tomorrow, don't change anything. Just be Illinois Wesleyan, and that's going to win us the game.
And I got to ask how you took in the 2 exhibition games, going to DePaul, going to Butler. What you made of those experiences, and how do you feel that helped prepare you and this team for the season?
That was a really cool experience. I mean, the just going down there to Butler and DePaul, really cool experience. And those guys were big, especially Butler. So I think that really prepared us, because we're not going to face that size, and we had to, we had to deal with it then, and it just got us more prepared for, smaller, quicker guards, because they're all quick, they're all big, and all strong. So it was a cool experience, but it also helped us get ready.
And have you had a chance to see Jack Sikma this weekend?
I have. We had a lunch today, and he talked along with Bob Spear that sponsored this program. It was great.
Well, we appreciate the time. Congratulations. Great game here tonight. Look forward to seeing you out there tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
it. You bet. That's Carlo Kolak, Illinois Wesleyan Jr., our player guest here tonight. 13-point performance in the Illinois Wesleyan victory. He also had a team-high 3 steals as we await Coach Rose to make his way up as the Titans get the victory here, 93-81. Well, Coach, a great start.
Good seeing you, buddy.
Great start to the season tonight.
It was a good start. That's a veteran team we just played, and they showed their stride. I mean, we got up, and they never went away, to their credit. Now, I would have liked to have seen some of the mistakes corrected and to give us some good tape to do to make sure that when we have a team down, we put them away. But a lot of really good stuff. I heard a couple people say it would have taken us 2 games to get that many points last year. So
right.
One of the emphasis, and we talked about this, is I think we have an offensive, a lot of potential offensively to be an explosive team. We got a lot of weapons, and we wanted to play at a faster pace and get out and play a little bit, and I thought our guys are really embracing that.
We were just talking with Carlo. It was 58-52 last year, so it was almost half the first time you played Cal Lutheran, so it was like a completely different game with a lot of the same personnel.
The majority of the same personnel.
Yeah, for both
teams. It was the consistent thing was it was physical.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams on the ball were physical, off the ball were physical. When the ball went up, it was physical. That was a tough game to officiate just because there was body-to-body contact on virtually every possession.
There was one instance early in the first half where it was an inbound to the post. It got knocked out, I think, like once or twice, and you guys kept putting it back in there. I don't want to say force it, but you were insisting on doing that. And it seems like that's something that hasn't always been there in the past, to make sure you're getting the highest percentage shot.
Well, we've got a lot of guys that can score around the basket, and it's not just Harrison and Marco, even though I think they both played really well. It was super encouraging how aggressive and assertive Harrison was. He wasn't hesitant at all, especially that first half. But we got even our wings. We got big wings. So, I think there's a level of unselfishness that this group has that understands we're going to have 5 guys on the floor at all times capable of scoring. And I thought early on we dribbled too much. The first 10 minutes when we were really struggling, about every guy who caught the ball dribbled it. Well, oftentimes we were taking 1 too many dribbles. And then the second 10 minutes of the first half, that ball started moving much better.
And go ahead.
In your driving game was the biggest turnaround, down 7-0. You start attacking the basket, opens up the perimeter game. What'd you notice about that?
Well, we were fortunate. It could have been down 10 or 12. You know, we have a really a strong defense. We were a defensive-minded team last year. And so we kind of had to rely on that early when we were struggling. And big part was spacing. It's hard to drive a drive, meaning if I drive and pass it to a teammate, it's hard for him to drive immediately right back into a crowded gap. And I think we were just amped up in doing that. We were much better when we'd pass it 2 or 3 times, then create that space in driving lanes. We're much more successful.
Boy, a highly efficient game offensively for a couple of guys. One, Carlo, who we just talked to, it's like this is the guy that you've been seeing in practice the last 2 years.
I haven't seen Carlo's numbers, but I thought he gave us a huge lift in the first half. Carlo's got a lot of tools. I mean, he's 6'5", he's athletic, he's strong, he can shoot from the perimeter, he can drive it to the basket. And I'm really happy for Carlo because he's also a young man that puts in a lot of work. And so it's a great start for a young guy, even though he's a junior, young in terms of number of games and experience, to build on this and gain some confidence.
Nick Roper living up to All-American billing. Hakeem Williams looked like an All-American out there too tonight.
We got a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
And you know, Nick, that's a hard one for a coach. He picked up 2 fouls, but we were up, and you know, you're thinking he was just itching on the bench saying, Coach, I can go. and I wanted to play him, but if he would have picked up a 3rd foul when we're up, that wouldn't have made much sense. But he certainly made the most of his opportunities the second half.
We get a quick turnaround, a chance to scout for the next game. What are your thoughts as you prepare for a 24-hour turnaround?
Well, it's you know, playing the 5 o'clock game, you and I talked about it, kind of was a little goofy, a little out of our rhythm. But now it's a good thing because now we have a little bit more rest. We can kind of sit back and watch the game, have a better idea of who we're going to scout as the game unfolds. You know, I don't want to play either of them, really. They're both tremendous teams. I mean, they're number 2, number 9, and flip a coin who's going to win this one because you got 2 really great programs that both were Elite 8 teams last year.
Well, you really ought to talk to the guy who invited them here.
Well, he's not very bright. You and I both know that, Eric.
Well, you get the win. Congratulations. Enjoy the time, and we'll see you back here in about 24 hours. You know,
tomorrow's going to be a really fun day. We've got close to 50 former all-conference players coming back. So we're going to have some of the Titan greats here, in addition to obviously Jack Sikma and Bob Spear here, but it's going to be a great opportunity for us to play in front of some of the best players who've ever put on a Titan jersey. It's going to be a great championship game tomorrow night.
And that is a cool tradition that the Sikma Invitational has taken on every year in showcasing part of the history of this basketball program.
Such a rich tradition. It was great to see Coach Bridges here, and it's always good when you have all those former players. And it's one of the unique things I think about our program is you graduate, but you're still connected and still a part of the program long after you've played your last game.
And how do you feel the guys respond to that on the court? Does that lift them up, knowing that the guys who came before them are watching?
No doubt. And there'll be guys they played with, guys they know, guys, you know, that when they were high schoolers, they were in the stands watching them play. And so you certainly want to do the former players proud.
Well, we appreciate the time. Congratulations, and we'll see you here tomorrow night.
Thank you for being here, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach Ron Rose. Titans get the victory tonight, 93-81, as we wrap up with the final stats on this contest, and we break away momentarily before the Calvin, Wisconsin Platteville